Why are you staring at me? In a creepy way.
I'm not creepy. I'm delightful.
You are
I'm
delicious.
Delightful. So we were in the car earlier, and I looked at Sean, and I was like, we're dressed the same today. I don't know what happened. We both have green shirts on.
Is the screen?
Yes. Yes, it's green. I know that you have a little color blindness issue. This is not blue, it's green. But we are Shaman and Yolanda. I got it right.
You did.
The Connected Relationship, helping couples connect more in their relationships.
Beyond the to-do list.
Yeah. It's funny because you and I are firstborns. We're both firstborns.
A little hyper type A sometimes.
A little bit.
Little driven, right? Little, I want it my way, kind of, a little bit. Responsible, all those firstborn kind of
traits, yeah. Yeah, we both were preparing to come live, and usually one of us will print out kind of our talking points.
But right, we both did,
because
we had to both have them.
Right.
Anyway, we've been talking about this new year, new vision stuff.
Yeah, so we've taken over time in our relationship. We've taken our firstborn traits, hopefully softened them a little bit, and incorporated some like dream and playfulness into goal setting and intentionality. I think the key word is intention, right? Just intentionality.
Right. We talked a little bit about doing a vision board.
Yeah, so a lot of times people at the beginning of a year will think through goals and like intentions or whatever
word
you
of the
call
year. What do I want to do this year?
Yeah, kind of so we do. We've talked about a vision board.
Mm-hmm. We've talked about the
perfect day.
The perfect day. I was like, it's on the tip of my tongue. The perfect day exercise, which is like one of my absolute favorite things I want to do. Right. Because it's so cool to allow yourself to dream.
Right. Well, I think the vision board does that too.
Right. Yeah. They both are very similar in that regard.
So what happens when you take the vision board and the perfect day and they meet?
Right. You come up with the 4-quadrant exercise.
Yeah.
Which is our next thing in this whole New Year, New Vision series, right? Mm-hmm. The 4-quadrant exercise is a really cool... It's the place where like the rubber starts to meet the road. Right. In this whole visioning stuff. Right. And this
because otherwise it's just like there are pictures on a board.
Right. And at home we actually hang this big dry erase board and we've separated it into 4 quadrants. It looks kind of like this, Yolanda did. I'm sure that's reversed when
I don't know
on the video, but it looked, you split it into 4 quadrants.
So just in case you couldn't see, so it's taking those big dreams, like the 3 to 5 year, like whatever works for you. Right. So what are those big dreams? And then what is something that can happen in this year that can move you
towards
to
the big
here?
Dreams. Right.
And then from this 1 year space, what is something that you can be intentional about this quarter? Right. That will move you to this year. Right. That will move you to this. Right. And what's something that tangible, when you break these things down, what's an actionable step for this month that builds for the quarter and the year?
And the bigger overall dream. And it doesn't necessarily, you could do it shorter. You could say my end goal is a year and quarter, month, week. Right. You could do that as well. Mm-hmm.
You just be erasing your dry erase form.
Yeah, actually, I think that's how we started it.
Yeah.
And it just kind of became a lot. We were constantly changing it.
Yeah.
So, and this is something you should check in with a lot as you're doing it, right?
Well, it's kind of another one of those things that you can, like we said, we have the dry erase board. It sits there in addition to the vision board and stuff. So, what does this look like in reality?
Well, but this is that thing. I definitely will give an example, right? But this is that thing that takes the kind of intangible, and it breaks it down, that intangible idea of, wow, could we ever do something like that?
Well, I think a lot of times when we step into dreaming, and dreaming is so, playing and dreaming and adventure is so important in a relationship. I think it's one of those components that is easily lost when you're in the drudgery of like the day-to-day and
the grind.
The grind and the chores and the work and the kids and all of that stuff. And then you can just, it just sucks the life out of you, right? And you can feel like you're just trudging from one day to the next.
Through the mud.
And then you're not even seeing your partner as like...
a partner. It's
it's like a commiserator at best, you know?
Yeah.
So doing these things brings an element of dream and play, and that can be energizing when you're like, okay, this moment or this part of the day or this day was really tough or this week is tough, but hey, we're still taking steps toward this bigger thing.
Right. It takes that thing that seems so far and pie in the sky and intangible, and it breaks it down to very tangible actions.
Yeah.
And that's what's really cool. They're very manageable. Each, like if you just get to that point where you're doing the monthly stuff, it's like, oh, we'll do these things this month. And it might not even be a lot.
Right.
But those things will move you to like accomplish those goals for the quarter.
Right.
You know, and it's so cool to kind of break it down that way, to take something that seems so far. I mean, like for example, the big thing we want to do is go walk the Camino de Santiago in Spain. Of course, right now we probably won't be doing something like that, but someday. 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years. That fits in, hopefully in the 3 to 5 year range.
Yeah, it's like a 500-something mile hike.
Yeah, so when we think that 3 to 5 year goal of like hiking the Camino de Santiago, hundreds of miles, that takes 4 to 6 weeks. Right? So, kind of big picture, we need to think what needs to be in place for us to be away from daily things here in Tampa. To be able to take that adventure.
Right. So you start backing into that. Well, what things can we do this year? Well, we know it's going to cost money.
Right.
So we got to save money.
Saving money.
You know, and maybe this year we save up the money to buy the plane tickets or, you know, whatever it is.
Right.
Or the hotel expenses or, you know, that kind of thing. We know there's going to be equipment you have to have.
You
know, clothing and things like that.
Hiking gear.
Yeah,
you know, we know that physically we need to, like, it's an entirely different environment than the flat terrains of Florida.
Right, so you got to figure out how you're going to train and do a little bit of elevation changes.
Right, and how do you, if I think, wow, typically what we do is walk the dogs in yoga, but maybe I need to add some core and upper body strength to be able to carry a backpack. So what do I need to do to kind of fit that into my weekly workout routine?
Right. So then all of a sudden you start breaking those things down. What can I do this year?
Right. And now every time I'm doing a hard workout, I'm like, this is for the Camino.
Right. And everything kind of gets towards that goal.
Right. Every time I make the decision of like, oh, let me like not make this purchase because that's extra money that we can put towards our Camino account.
Right.
And then, you know, as we sit and look at those things, it's the dreaming and the bigger picture, like, oh, these are some pictures from other hikers that did the same Camino, and oh my gosh, that's so beautiful and amazing, and that's the dreaming part that comes back in.
And the connecting part is that we want to do it together.
Right.
You know, it's a thing we're going to do as a couple.
Yeah. So whatever that bigger vision, that bigger adventure, the bigger purpose, maybe it's like, hey, someday we'll be empty nesters. What will that look like?
Or let's create a plan to get out of debt.
That's a great option. Like if you have a 3 to 5 year plan of getting out of debt, then this year let's take maybe the smallest credit card debt that we can chunk up into, you know, monthly payments, and what are some choices that we can make week to week to help, you know, put money into that.
Right.
It's how we moved from the house that we thought that we were going to retire in. That was like a perfect day exercise combination of the grid. We were living and driving to the office and to yoga and things that we were really enjoying. And there was one day that I was like, what would it be like? It would be so nice if I didn't have to spend so much time in the car driving to these places that are really important. So then that started that, well, we thought we were going to retire in this home. What would things look like?
Yeah, what would it look like if we moved?
If we lived closer.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you allow yourself to dream and then you start just really simply putting things down that are tangible, that can move you towards those dreams. It's really powerful. It's really powerful what it can do in your relationship. It's really powerful the changes it can make in your life. And I think we get so stuck in the daily grind, we never allow ourselves to dream for the future.
Well, it's like that box, you know, the walls close in, you're in the box. It's like things can only look this way.
Right. And it's such a freeing thing to basically take that box, chuck it, and say, no, we're going to dream.
Yeah. And to just say, look, we're going to expand beyond the box and see what happens, right? We don't know what's going to happen, but dreaming doesn't cost anything.
That's it.
Awesome.
So I think it's the exercise. What's the challenge?
This is the challenge.
Do a 4-quadrant exercise.
4-quadrant. You will probably need a piece of paper that's bigger than this.
Yeah, this really big helps.
Big poster board. Like I almost redid this on my can you tell them a post-it
She's
note?
Like a post-it
junkie. Yeah.
They're great. All over my house.
It's great.
But yeah, do it.
Do it.
It's a cool exercise, and I think it will really motivate you to see, wow, we can actually do a few of these things.
Yeah. So, hey, if you and your partner are having a hard time breaking outside of that box of like the mundane and the day-to-day and the grind and the like not dreaming and playing and adventuring, and we can help with some coaching. So
that's what we do.
That's what we do.
Right.
So check it out. You can schedule a free consultation to work with us.
Yep.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. Go
Bye,
dream.
Guys.